pounds at Monsters Incorporated.
Whoa! What's up, gang? It's Mighty Matt.
And I'm the reason there's such a big thing at Disney, the Shredder.
And we're here at Disney World.
My time, it's my time. The ways of the music comes out of my mind. It's true, from me to you. I make my own decisions, do what I want to do. No.
So here we are at Disney World, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, is a world.
That's run by Disney.
Yeah, right.
Which is
exactly.
the regular world, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real life simulator.
Yeah. It's a microcosm look at the real world, which is run by Disney.
Correct.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're here at Disney. This guy and his family came. I live around the area, so we made a little trip and we spent a couple of days at the parks, the theme parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we figured we'd do your screens a favor and throw our faces up on it, and you can check it out and then be like, who's that guy with Shredder? That's Mighty Matt.
Yeah.
That's who that is.
And I've learned that you're just a regular guy that puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like the rest of us. You really are just like a regular guy, You're not like this big, godlike celebrity that everybody probably thinks,
Yeah,
So
right.
it's really humbling to see how down to earth you are.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't walk around my head in the clouds or anything, I just
No.
I let people hold the door for me if they want. I'm not going to stop them from doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little annoying when people keep stopping. You're like, and they want pictures and stuff like that. But honestly, like, you're just real salt of the earth.
Yeah. I've found that for the most part, if people, they want their autograph or their selfie or whatever, so long as I'm not like busy or I actually feel like doing it, I'll go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
Because I'm not a jerk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're totally not a jerk. Totally not. So anyway, let's talk about this this trip. Okay, so what did we do? We spent a couple of days. We spent 2 days together. Mm-hmm. We spent the first day. We did Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Now we were able to get Animal Kingdom done in a pretty decent time.
Right.
Normally, like before COVID and everything, I would say like, each park you have to spend a day at because there's just so much there.
For sure.
But we're now living in a post-COVID world and there's a lot of things that are closed. So there were certain things we couldn't do. Like Festival of the Lion King's down. Finding Nemo is not there. But we were able to get done quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, and then we parked hop over to Hollywood Studios. Got a few things done there.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a big day. And then Thursday we did Magic Kingdom. We spent the entire day. We were there for like 13 hours, something like that. I don't know. You guys were even there before me.
Yeah.
And by the time we actually left the park, like we had been there for like probably close to 13 hours.
Yep, and we did pretty much get to do everything that I wanted to do for the most part of the things that are open.
Right.
Not everything, which is why I always tell people, like, if you're going to Magic Kingdom, you want to do 2 days at Magic Kingdom. There's just too much to do, and if COVID wasn't a thing, it even this time would have been way too much to do.
Oh yeah, because like if it's like before COVID, like you had things like the Monsters Inc. laugh floor. There'd be like the fireworks, and that would have cut into the time, and like, we were able to get in as much as we did, but we still didn't do everything.
Right.
Yeah,
we didn't even do everything that was open.
Yeah.
It was weird. Which, I will say, my biggest takeaway from like the COVID time Disney is that if your main thing's rides and you're not like a huge Disney fan, you don't want to have all the fireworks in the castle and stuff like that, then yeah, by all means, go do it, go hit the rides, because the wait times are definitely shorter.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Like there were certain rides that normally are like super long, and we actually got on them like pretty quickly.
Half the time of normal.
Yeah.
The problem is if you are a Disney fan and you want that magic and that extra flair, now is probably not the time to go, because even things like the line queues aren't as magical as normal.
Right, a lot of the interactive portions of some of the line queues, like like Big Thunder Mountain, that
Right.
has like a very interactive queue line. A lot of that stuff's been taken out, so they're trying to keep the sort of like the touch surfaces and everything down to a minimum. So unfortunately, like that does take a bit, because like that's the sort of like the extra mile that Disney will usually go to kind of stand above the rest.
Right.
And it is kind of a bummer to see that stuff gone. And then of course, like you got like things like like character meet and greets.
Oh, yeah.
You can't meet any of the characters.
If it's your first trip, especially, you want to go. You want to meet Mickey. You want to see the fireworks and the castle show and stuff. I mean, that's kind of the quintessential Disney experience, and that's just not happening right now, which is unfortunate. But I mean, it's still a good time. Honestly, the biggest bummer is whenever it's humid and 94 degrees out, and you're wearing a mask everywhere you go.
Yeah.
That is rough. I'm not going to say it's not. That's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bearable. We did it. It's fine.
Yeah,
But-
it's not like you can't do it.
Right.
You can, but it's going to make it a little bit rougher. You're right.
Yeah. But for someone like us who are kind of like seasoned veterans of it, it is nice to come in and have the lower crowds and get the lower line times and things like that and just kind of blast through. Like, I don't think we were ever in any line more than 30 minutes, right?
I don't think so. No, I'm pretty sure like the longest we had to wait for something was maybe like Splash Mountain was like around 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, but still like that's not bad at all.
No, I mean that's unheard of. Like if you come here during any other time, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, like you said, I just wanted to like reiterate that like if you've come to the parks a bunch of times, like now is a good time because you already know what to expect there, and like just not having certain things is not going to be that bad for you since you've experienced them before. But if it's your first time and you got little kids that you definitely want them to have and meet Mickey and everything, that you might want to wait and come back when things are a little bit closer to normal.
Yeah. I mean, we did see Mickey. He, briefly he went by.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mickey, and he was like, Shredder, and then he was.
Yeah, he pointed to you and like.
Yeah, he was all
exactly.
upset. He was asking like, can I go, hug? And then.
The other characters were like stomping him from
Yeah.
like getting off the float. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that right now. So
Right.
I mean, I could tell he was disappointed. He didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it in his face.
He did that
Yeah.
thing that he does like, oh shucks, he did
Yeah.
that. But yeah, you do see characters. They're around. They're like they'll have cavalcades that go around, and which are actually kind of nice. We were talking about that. Like, the parades are nice, but like the parades would only happen at like 3:00. So if you missed them, it's like, oh well, that's it. But these cavalcades happen like every 20 minutes, and so it's like if you want to see characters, just wait around 20 minutes and they're gonna come by. So like in a way, it's kind of nice. I kind of hope they keep that.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely things they could learn from this experience and improve previous things, moving forward. We'll see what happens.
On that, some sort of distance in between parties and the queue lines. That's really nice because even forget like the pandemic and all that stuff. I always hated how much they would cram everybody into these queue lines beforehand. Like they fill in all the available space, they'd always say, and so you'd have some random strangers like in front of you and be right behind you, just kind of like getting all up in my business. Like I hate that just in general. Forget about getting some sort of a virus. So it would be nice if like in the future it's like 3 feet between you and the party in front of you. I'm happy with that. That'd be great. Some sort of space would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even now, it's like there were definitely some people that were just kind of like, oh yeah, it's the ride now. And it's like,
yeah, I know.
Me.
Yeah.
COVID or not, get off me.
Yeah.
The worst were like some of the shows where it's just a large open room that they would shove you in. Because there was it's just chaos before. Because there were a couple doors and they cram everyone in here, and the doors would open, and everyone stampede around. I always hated that.
Yeah.
And they kind of have changed that a little bit now. And I think they could probably use more improvements in the future, but I hope that those at least, please, like, quit trampling people over me.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like just Philharmagic.
Philharmagic.
The way they would cram as many people into that room, the doors will open and they just like everybody just like spills out, and like sometimes if you have a big family, it's hard to like kind of keep track of everybody. Everybody would have to hang on to each other so that way you could find your row and find your seats and everything like that. If they could find some way to like funnel people in slowly or something,
Yeah.
you know, and like, yeah, I agree. That would be really nice.
It's tough to be a bug was the worst for me. Like that queue is,
Yeah.
But anyway, besides all of that,
Right. Yeah. Enough of the whole like differences between now and before COVID and everything. Let's get into the fun stuff.
yeah. Okay, so you want to start with Epcot? Let's start with Epcot.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So my top 3 rides at Epcot. Number 1 would be Soarin'. That one's that's a lot of fun. I highly recommend that one. Number 2, Spaceship Earth. I have a soft spot for that one. I know it's kind of like, it's not like a thrill ride or anything, but like it's a dark ride. We're counting thrill rides and dark rides together. But I don't know. Like I love the smell of Rome burning.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice. So yes, number 1 Soarin', number 2 Spaceship Earth. Third favorite ride at Epcot might have to be, I think, Free Caballeros, the ride in Mexico. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute. I mean, it's it's nothing like spectacular or anything, but I don't know, I kind of like it.
You know what's weird about that one? The first like multiple trips, I did not know that ride existed. It's very hidden.
It is, yeah. Yeah, you have to go inside of that pyramid. They have like just that one sign on the outside that has the 3 Caballeros on there. If you missed that, you wouldn't know. You would think it was just another, building with maybe like a restaurant and shops, which it has. But then it's also got this cute little ride.
Right. And, I mean, that was the first time we came. We didn't even go in there because I think we thought it was a restaurant or something. And then it was actually the third time we came that I actually went in there finally.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap, there's all kinds of stuff in here. And I still didn't go on the ride. And then our 4th trip, I was like, shit, there's a ride in here.
Yeah.
So it took me 4 trips to even realize that ride existed. And I really enjoyed it. And I've ridden it twice now.
Another nice thing about that ride is that there's always like it's almost a walk on. Like there's no wait time for that. Like it's usually like 5 minutes tops. You just kind of walk right onto it. And it's kind of like the Small World version of Mexico, basically. But it's got Donald in it. Donald's one of my favorite Disney characters, so I don't know, I dig it.
Yeah.
But
It's a good ride.
So that's my top 3 at Epcot. Rides. Go ahead.
Right, ride-wise, Soarin's number 1, Spaceship Earth's number 2. Those rides are pretty much a must. If you go to Epcot, you got to hit these rides.
Yeah. Real quick, just for anybody that doesn't know, Spaceship Earth is the one that's in like the giant golf ball thing, which is something that I think is really cool. And I always like, while I'm in there, I'm like, wow, like I'm actually inside of the giant golf ball.
Right. It's weird because that is a landmark that everyone recognizes, and you hear
it's
people,
iconic. Yeah.
Yes, you hear people refer to that as like that's Epcot. Well, Epcot's the park.
Yeah.
You're like, the big golf ball at Epcot. Yeah, that's Spaceship Earth. That's a ride.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of people, from my business experience, not many people know that's a ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's an awesome ride.
They think that it's just the sort of like the centerpiece of the park. It's like the castle at Magic Kingdom.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's just like it's just supposed to be like this iconic thing, but it's actually like there's a reason for it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
Yeah. So you got your top 2. What's your third one?
Third would be rough. I know what you're thinking. I'm not doing that. I really like the Frozen ride.
I was about to say Frozen.
I really like the Frozen ride.
I like it too. I almost made that my number 3, but
my big problem with that ride is because they refurbished it and it used to be the
Maelstrom.
The Maelstrom.
Yeah.
And I never had to ride the Maelstrom.
Me neither.
But
actually, I think I did when I was a kid, but I have zero memory of it. But
gotcha.
regardless.
My issue is whenever they refurbed it and changed it, they left the old track in, and it is bumpy as hell.
Yeah.
And like if you have a small baby, like it's probably too much for the baby, or like a grandma, or if you've been walking around in the humidity heat all day like me and had problems from it.
Oh yeah.
If you're chafing, okay, you probably don't want to be riding the Frozen ride.
Yeah.
I'm saying if your balls are sore from the walk, don't put them on the Frozen ride.
Yeah, ladies, if your balls are sore, don't ride it.
But I do really, really like that ride. I will say that Test Track, the first time we rode Test Track, for some reason, it just seemed better than the last couple of times. They used to have a temperature test zone where it would get extremely hot and then extremely cold and things, and they removed it because older people and stuff were having problems with this. That's no longer there, which was kind of like a big part of the ride. Yeah. And then there was one other thing, I forget what it was last time, that was also gone or changed, and I'm like, you keep making this ride worse. I really liked it in the beginning, but now it's pretty plain. It's pretty vanilla.
Sounds like Journey into Imagination. It's kind of the same thing.
I've only ridden one version of Journey into Imagination, and it was whatever. It's
cute. It's fun. I do have vague memories of the original, or at least an older version of it from when I was a kid. So like back in like '92. It was a lot funner then. A lot funner. More fun. It's cute for what it is now, especially like because there's usually not a wait time for it. So like 5 minutes, it's like it's totally worth it because it's not taking a lot of time out of your day. If you had to wait more than like 30 minutes, I would say skip it because it's not worth it. But if it's only 5 minutes, yeah, do it. But Test Track, like, yeah, honestly, like I do it. I'll do it if people want to do it. But I'm like if I go by myself or if I go with a friend that's been there before, like. Usually skip because it's like,
Epcot's a weird. I want to start with Epcot because Epcot's kind of like it's very mixed bag. Some people love it, some people hate it. Some are like, well, it's only for adults and it's got this, and it's like, well, no.
I talked to a lot of people where like their favorite park is Epcot because they like to go like drinking around the world, and that's fine if that's your thing. But like me, like I'm not really that big of a drinker, so like that whole aspect of it is kind of lost on me. Seeing the different countries in the World Showcase is cool. I do like that. I love Japan. I could spend all day in there. But as far as like when I think of theme parks, I'm thinking of like rides and shows and stuff like that. Epcot is usually, as far as Disney parks go, is usually at the bottom of my my go-to list.
And if you're an adult and
which we are,
if you live close by and like, hey, you want head up to Epcot for a while, it's a nice chill slow day. You can go try different foods and things. I like the aquarium parts. Like the Nemo ride's cute. I don't know why necessarily it's at Epcot, but I like it. It's enjoyable. My cousin has been talking about wanting to go to Disney, and I think she'd probably really like Epcot, especially like the Food and Wine Festival and stuff. I think she would really, really enjoy that. So I don't think it's bad by any means. I think it is very appealing to a lot of people. It's just whenever I'm personally coming, I want thrill rides and the magic and the stuff that Epcot's kind of a different breed. Mm-hmm. Any disappointments at Epcot? Like what would you like? Epcot is.
Honestly, I can't think of. See, you're right because Epcot is weird, especially right now because it's in such a transitional phase right now because like they're bringing in a bunch of new rides and they're refurbishing certain areas to be something different. Like they're adding in like a Moana area and a Mary Poppins area and stuff.
I love Moana so much.
So all the stuff that they seem to be adding to Epcot sounds really awesome. Like
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, the Ratatouille ride. Even their fireworks was, before COVID, what they had planned for that sounded really awesome. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to kind of like to grade or judge Epcot right now just because I feel like it's a park that's kind of in flux. You know? So as of right now, like I can't think of really too much that I would change, other than like, I don't know. I mean, Test Track, honestly, and just because of the reasons I was saying earlier, it's maybe also like it would be great if they could redo Figment into Imagination and try to like maybe like bring it back to like the old school, like with the Dreamfinder and everything, like make it more like how it was originally done, because everybody seems to really like that and kind of hates what's happened to it.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty popular opinion.
Yeah.
Innovations. I remember watching, as I've said 100 times, I watched Disney World Inside Out on the Disney Channel when I was younger, and that was like me, with my pupils dilated, like a Disney World. Yeah. And they would show innovations, and it was, look at these, the future technology that's here. they would have VR before, way before that was ever a thing, and all these other cool things. And whenever I finally went to Innovations, it was the biggest piece of garbage. Like, it looks like an old dilapidated mall that has turned into, that's just been abandoned, that there's probably soon to be zombies walking around. And now it's gone. It's completely gone.
I think so, yeah.
I would love a new innovations. And actually bring that stuff back. Like, show, like, here's this tech that we have, that it is kind of stuff that was obviously not for the consumer market yet, but it will be in the future. I love stuff like that. I really wish they could redo that and do it well.
Right.
That's probably one of my bigger disappointments. That and that damn soda. What was that? Soda? Beverly? Ugh.
Yeah, Club Cool's gone.
Yeah, Club Cool's gone. Which it was fun going there being like pop. It's called pop, by the way. If you don't, if you're confused what I'm talking about, it's pop, and you drink it.
For the rest of the world, he's talking about soda.
Beverly sucks. If people drink Beverly on purpose, I don't know what the hell you're doing.
I used to trick people into drinking Beverly. I would be like, "Oh, you got to try Beverly." It's like, if they've never been there before, I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's the best one." Like the rest of them are okay, but like Beverly's like the best. And I turn around and then like actually drink it and like they're like,
yeah, I almost threw up in my mouth the first time. Legitimately. I don't understand, because you ever get that, you'll find treats are like, this is treats around the world, we drink this. How do you purposely drink this? I don't care where you're from, this is trash. This is trash water.
Well, whoever, like, it's probably from somewhere where, like, their water is trash. And so when they drink that, it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, this is a treat.
I guess so. Like, there's some, like, mud hut somewhere that they're starting, and then the people come in the little ambulance and, like, give them Beverly, and they're loving it. Because otherwise, it's garbage.
It's always the worst. And I don't know why they kept it around, because it's not like, it was like, 50-50. A lot of people do like Beverly, and some people don't. It's like, no, it's like pretty much like it was universally panned by like everybody.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Another huge disappointment, whenever we were in EPCOT, we bought some Turkish Delights, because, Narnia made them seem so amazing. You know what I mean? Like, and there's like the Mickey cartoon, like, Turkish Delights, and everyone's just, just
they're really not. No, they're not good at all. It's not just Disney. It's not like the ones at EPCOT were like particularly bad. It's like, look, I've had them elsewhere at another park.
Yeah.
That's not Disney, and because I heard about them. I had one, and I was like, what the hell are people talking about?
Yeah.
This stuff's garbage.
And they were like $5 a piece, and we each got one, and I think we each took one bite out of ours and to the trash. And so they were $20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's nasty.
They're horrible. Don't get those. If you ever hate someone, send them a box of Turkish Delights and some Beverly.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest view you're ever going to give someone. Garbage.
So, as far as like shows, attractions, like entertainment, whatever. Real quick, do you have a top 3?
I don't know.
All right. While you're thinking, which could take a while, I'll go ahead. I love the drummers in Japan. Mm-hmm. They're probably my number one. I also love the acrobats in China, the street acrobats. They're really good. They're super talented, and the way they use, like, they'll have like springs or whatever on their feet, and they'll have like these circle things that they'll like do like twists and turns on. It's nuts. It's the stuff they do is crazy. My third favorite, there's this guy that's usually in Italy, and he has like a whistle and soccer balls, and he doesn't speak. He only he puts the whistle in his mouth, and he just makes noises, and that's how he communicates. And he usually does all these different, he'll throw the ball to people, usually little kids, and have them throw it. He does juggling with them and stuff. He does all kinds of cool and he's funny as hell. Super funny. I always look for that guy whenever I'm there. Back when he was there. But yeah, so those are my they're all street performers, street entertainment.
Yeah,
those are my favorites.
Yeah.
But sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
But there's also all the really cool 360 movie screen type things. In Canada, China has one, and France has. I don't know if there's just a 360 circular theater or not. I can't remember. France has something, but I don't remember what it is because I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, funnily enough, the Timon and Pumbaa like Recycle Planet whatever show.
Yeah.
Our first trip, we watched that, and that is actually what made us start recycling.
Nice.
Was that, and we still do. I recycle more now every week than the garbage that I have.
Yeah.
So it was because of Timon and Pumbaa. Because if Timon and Pumbaa tell you to do something,
You gotta do it. Yeah.
it's not really a choice anymore. At that point, you're just like, well.
If an animated warthog and meerkat tell you to do something, you probably should do it.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Mm.
Yeah.
Number 2.
The first thing I thought of was the Chinese acrobats. Those are really entertaining. We've watched them, I think, every time we've come through. It's never disappointed. I also like in Mexico, they have like their little band. The guys are always out with their little band. Maybe it's Morocco. I don't know. I don't remember. No, because they had Coco. They had like the Coco
That's in Mexico.
marionette and stuff.
Oh, man, I wanted to see that so bad, but I never got a chance to catch it.
And it's gone now.
Yeah, I know. I wanted, because like I saw the marionettes and they looked really cool. But yeah, no.
Coco didn't get enough appreciation, man. That movie was good.
I'd heard rumors that they were going to maybe re-theme the Caballeros ride in Mexico to Coco. And honestly, like as much as I love Donald and the Caballeros, like I really wouldn't mind if they did something with Coco, because I really like that movie. And it's in Mexico, and like I think that would be really cool, especially if like you're going, if you know you ride in the boat and all, like it takes you into the world of the dead or whatever. Like that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be more relevant for sure than. I mean, the 3 Caballeros.
Everybody knows Donald Duck. Nobody really knows who the other 2 are.
Yeah.
But like right now, all the kids know who Coco is,
Yeah.
and they know that story.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Also, as far as a disappointment goes, we did the living Earth, riding with the Earth.
Oh, living with the land.
Living with the land. I didn't care for it.
I have some friends that really love that ride. I think it's interesting to do once, maybe twice, but it's not something like, oh, I'm going to EPCOT again today, doing living with the land.
I'm going to see some dead
Can't
fish
wait,
in
yeah.
a jar and maybe some carrots.
Gonna see some banana trees. Can't wait.
It is interesting. It's one of those things that where if I were at like a local fair, or if it, whatever, if my school took a field trip to it and that's what we did, great.
Yeah.
It's just whenever you're at Disney and the bar is like up here, it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, I'm going to skip this and go do living with the land now.
I appreciate that it's like, it's a ride, but it's also kind of like teaching you things.
It is educational.
Because that was Walt's kind of like original concept for EPCOT, was that it's supposed to be like helping humanity, and by helping humanity, we also teach things. So in a way that I do like that aspect of it. It's not just like another thrill ride or another like mindless entertainment. But having said that, it's also something that like it's I usually fall asleep on it.
Yeah, right.
To be honest,
it's like, hey, it's too damn hot out. I'm getting on one of the land.
Yeah, it's slow. It's hot out, and you're just like slowly like watching like fish and trees and like some of the garden stuff, and it's like it's hard to keep away.
It's long. It's a long ride.
It's like a good 15-20 minutes or something. Like it ain't short.
It's probably that has to be the longest ride, at least at EPCOT.
At least at EPCOT, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How about that for another kind of slight disappointment, even though it's not really. The fact that EPCOT has strayed so far from Walt's vision is also kind of problematic. Which is, it's hard to say because EPCOT's cool for what it is, but it's just, I remember being young and there was this video of Walt being like, oh, we call it EPCOT.
Yeah. Experimental prototype city of tomorrow.
Community of tomorrow? Is that what it is?
Oh, is it community?
Or is it city?
Okay.
I always call it city.
I know, me too, because that's what it was originally intended to be, was a city, not a community.
Right.
But anyway.
Regardless.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember way before I had any idea what Disney World was, at Epcot especially, watching Walt explain, this is our plan, this is what we're going to do. Unfortunately Walt passed away before anything was ever realized, but I don't think, of all the parks, this probably went away from his vision the most.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say, because I mean, obviously the other 2 parks were really funny. part of his vision. But,
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying. Like it strayed very far from what he wanted, especially with like innovations. That was trying to follow his vision.
Yeah.
And now it's just like here's some rides and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that what happened was after Walt passed away, I think whoever was in charge at the time, I can't remember who took over after Walt.
Was it Roy?
I think it was Roy, because he was the one that said like, Walt's dead, so like, EPCOT, like his dream for EPCOT is kind of dead. So like, I think what happened was like shareholders or whatever were just like, hey, look, we can make more money if we do, Disneyland or Disney World Part 2. Just do like another park.
Yeah.
That's fun,
Yeah.
because they were probably just saying like, hey, look, this prototype community of tomorrow is not going to make us a whole lot of money.
They're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, right or wrong, that's what they did. I'm assuming that was their mindset. So.
Yeah. But what it turned into is good. I really like the Flower and Garden Festival.
Yeah.
Like almost every time we come is during the Flower and Garden Festival.
Yeah,
They have
that's
like
cool.
the butterfly house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I love that stuff. All the topiaries it's great.
Yeah.
The food and wine I've never got to do, and they also have live concerts and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, over in the American Pavilion, there's usually some sort of band or singer. It's usually someone that had a hit or two, in the past. So like,
I have missed seeing Simple Plan by days.
Oh, yeah.
Twice now. Yeah, and it's like, if I would know ahead of time, I would schedule because I would love to like for free just walk by their Simple Plan. Like, I love Simple Plan.
and then also like around Christmas time they do like the candlelight procession, and there's a lot of like, holiday themed stuff that they do, and that's really cool. So EPCOT, it's not my favorite park, but it does have a lot of charm and a lot of things that I really do like about it. So I'll say like, I brought a lot of dates there. It's a great place to take a date because you can get something to eat, get something to drink, and just kind of walk around the country. It's like, it's a perfect date park.
Yeah, it's not holding on screaming on Tower of Terror. It's chill and check
Right.
out the scenery and stuff and go see
Yep.
some manatees or something. It's good. It is probably my fourth favorite of the parks overall, but it is
But it's not saying that it's bad. It's just saying
it's still better than anywhere else on Earth. It's,
Yeah.
It's Epcot.
Club Cool's gone.
Yeah, Club Cool's going. Which it was fun going there, being like pop, pop. It's called pop, by the way. If you don't, if
Right.
you're confused what I'm talking about, it's pop, and you drink it
For the rest of the world, he's talking about soda, like Pepsi and stuff.
like cream soda.
But
That's a type of pop, yeah.
Yeah, sure, but Ohio is like, we got pop. Ooh.
Represent.
Pop.
We have farms and
Y'all got me.
factories.
Pop.
And pop. I'm not as high brow as Vermont, but
Yeah.
speaking of which, every time I get cheese, I get Vermont cheddar because
the best.
I think it's what it is. It's my way to.
It's Vermont. Yeah.
Is my way to have you with me whenever I'm not here. Beverly sucks.